All right, Taurus, let's see what's coming in for you this week. Ooh, you just popped out. King of Pentacles, on a mission, got a plan, right? In your power this week. So this card is saying you have a plan, and so the circumstances that may be happening right now, don't let them stray you off your course, right? Stay convicted in your long-term goals. There could be a person, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, coming around you this week. But this is also success, right? You have what it takes to make it through whatever situation that you're in. Things could be improving for you this week with the King of Pentacles because of your ability to stay focused. You have the Ten of Cups here at the bottom of the deck, which is also showing coming together with family, friends, things coming together in your life, a sense of happiness and sense of joy. Something with your child this week too, maybe hearing from them or hearing good news about them is also coming through for you. You know, you have the Tower card showing up, which can be a challenge for you. And this, to me, this week with that King of Pentacles is a reminder that the chaos that you might be feeling like you're in, or the uncertainty that could be happening with family or relationships, right? Are not defining your long-term goals. You're still on the right course. It's just sometimes people aren't seeing the long-term plan, and people are trying to distract, or they're getting caught up in the everyday, right? And it could sometimes veer you off track or take you out of alignment, especially if things, people around you aren't changing, or if a situation doesn't feel like it's changing. But the Tower card says it's inevitable. Like, you can't control chaos. You can't control other people who don't see the truth or don't want to see your truth, right? But you're showing up as a King of Pentacles, which is telling me you're the one that's really the rock here, the one that's really strong, and the one that's really focused. And this chaos that you may be kind of surfing through right now, and this could be unpredictability, arguments with relationships, or tension, or just trying to get people around you to just be real and wake up, and or just see what's going on, right? And this is out of your control. But what the Tower card tells me is this week, you may be seeing that it is in you, that the other people really are just, the more people have to face their reality, the more people that try to avoid their reality, eventually they start to get more destructive before change happens. And you may take the brunt of this. So somebody may be being more testing you, testy. There, people around you may be pulling at you. There may be a lot of dramatic energy and people relying on you. And it's hard to navigate this kind of energy, right? But it's like you've got to just remember who you are and pushing through this energy, and people are going to wake up on their own. It feels like you have people around you, or a situation around you, where you haven't been avoiding the truth, but other people may have been, and other people's lives are finally getting to a point where they've got to step up and see clearly, see the truth. And what happens after the Tower card is somebody will then see, oh, wait a minute, maybe Taurus was on the right path to begin with. Maybe Taurus knows something we don't know, because they seem to have it together. So most important thing for you is to see that the chaos around you this week isn't yours to fix, first and foremost, for you to stay true to the path that you're on and in alignment with your long-term goals, and let other people deal with their drama and not get sucked back into it, because it could easily take you off course. I see the Chariot card. So what's going on with you is going to be short-lived. The Chariot card is showing me that the more you don't engage with other people's problems this week, or take other people's problems to heart, right, you're going to see that the tower will fall, and then we'll get past this faster than we can imagine. Maybe it is time for the people in your life to wake up. Maybe it is time for something to fall. Maybe you can't hold it together for everybody, and finally you're deciding to focus on yourself for a minute. And when you decide to focus on yourself, other people's realities really do come to the lightning hits and reality hits. And now we're seeing here, though, you're going to be right back on the same course, but you don't have to get caught up in this chaos, right? Don't get pulled into this. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to always be the one that's the most mature in a situation. Other people, need to deal with their own shit, right? And we're seeing here that you will overcome whatever challenges that are happening to you right now faster than you can imagine by not engaging in the fire. I see the Page of Wands. So there's also some time here to have some fun this week. All right. So when you can't control chaos, you can't control arguments, you can't control other people's realities, you can't control the way somebody feels about a situation. You got to go do something different, right? You got to go out and have fun. There's opportunities this week for you to really engage with some fun, some people, some new adventures. Maybe there's somebody coming into your life that brings in something that really excites you. Right? Very awesome energy right here. The challenge, though, is for you this week is to let other people deal with their own situations. Let things fall apart for a minute so that people can realize on their own what they need to do. All right. And I see the Fool card here this week. It seems like an energy here of you having some great relief this week, being able to move forward and finding a sense of freedom. This can bring a lot of fresh starts for you this week. You have Aries energy showing up. For a lot of you. And some of you, this is an area where you're just like, you know what, I've got to go off and do my own thing. I'm ready for something new. There could be some situation entering your life this week where you really do feel very free. Right? You're starting to see more opportunities opening up for you that are making you happier. So what happens when this chaos happens, this Tower card, and you don't get sucked into other people's drama and you let things kind of do its thing and you take another turn and you go in another direction, you start to breathe and realize that there's more to life than some of this other chaos. And then when people see you moving on and doing your thing and you have this freedom and this sense of peace, other people then want to follow you. All right. The problem with that is you don't want to bring the stench from the past if they're not willing to change. But in this case, with the Chariot card there, somebody may see you actually doing something productive and something that seems, the better way to go. And this is where somebody may face reality and realize, you know what, I can't keep trying to avoid what needs to change. I can't keep avoiding this. And this is where they may come forward and things actually accelerate for you in relationships this week. You are really being asked, though, here with the Fool energy to take life as it comes right now, not take things too seriously, not take other people too seriously, not let people ruin your peace. You seem to be, I bet you, if everything were to fall apart, you would probably be standing there and still have everything comfortable, and you'd be able to continue maintaining and moving forward. Most likely because you're not really in this situation the problem, but you could be getting sucked into the problem and then it adds to the problem. Whereas you're being asked to move on from the problem and find some fun and peace while other people deal with their shit. All right. Sometimes you got to let people fight their own battles and fight the war on their own, right? In order for somebody to grow. So new energy, new beginning energy. You even have the Knight of Wands showing up for you. There could be some real fun, spontaneous, just crazy stuff that comes towards you this week that you start to see really where you could have more fun, really where you let other people's problems weigh you down. And you're not having enough time to really do the things that you love and enjoy. All right. For some of you who are single or who are just doing your thing and just wanting to have fun, it looks like there could be a new adventure coming your way when it comes to passion, right? And Aries, Leo, Sag, you have a lot of fire coming your way, which means somebody wanted to bring passion, somebody who has chemistry with you, somebody who's excited and somebody who wants to go and do something fun. Now, if somebody like this comes into your life and you have somebody in your life that's causing a lot of chaos, this might be a turning point for some of you. And your person may kick themselves in the ass because they let the best thing go. Somebody who's very stable, when all you were asking for to begin with is, I just want comfort. I just want stability. I just want consistency. I just want to move forward and have a plan and make things work. But you may have been trying to do this for quite some time with a situation that was very unstable. And this week you could really be having an epiphany about a situation as well, Taurus, that just wasn't stable. And maybe you really did need to move on from something. And now you're realizing the sense of peace that you are bringing into your life. So this could be a really big week, something that changes how you see everything. And that Tower card, you know, and I see with the 10 of Cups here, could be a huge revelation in a relationship that changes things. So I will look at Aries through Pisces and see, you know, what's the possibility that's happening here? What's this Tower card, you know, that's happening in the relationship? And I did pull the Queen of Swords for your advice too, as well. And the Queen of Swords even came out with Aries energy. And to me, it's like, this is going to be a week of, it's going to be uncomfortable when you have to sit back and watch somebody, you know, deal with their own reality, or deal with, you know, maybe you're not even wanting to participate anymore. You're just really wanting to build something that has meaning, something where you feel like you can really explore and not get stuck in a situation. Some people are happy and comfortable being stuck in situations that are not working. But it seems to me like, as difficult as something can be, you're starting to prioritize your peace and harmony over your emotions right now, and not wanting your emotions to be tied to every little bit of drama that somebody wants to bring into your world. All right, so this week is very important for you, I believe. You have somebody coming into your life too. You have a fire, you have an air. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Those of you who are connected to an Aries through Pisces, let's just see what this messages say. Aries, the Hermit card. So maybe there's been some space, or a little bit of space is wakening up in Aries. And Aries is like, you know, I really want to take a different road. So to me, it feels like some silence or quiet time between you and an Aries is creating magic, right? It's actually shifting the outcome of your situation, where your Aries is starting to see that they also too want a new road to walk on. All right, they're wanting something different, more peace in their life as well. So you could be dealing with some silence with an Aries, but you know, it's going to lead to the light at the end of the tunnel. Taurus, Four of Pentacles, all right? So it feels to me like you are maybe in this sense, right, feeling like, you know, something's there. There is something solid there. I do want to make something work. I don't want to let go of something. But at the same time, I need my peace, so I need to let go of control of a situation. Like I said, sometimes you just need to let things fall. The Tower says there is maybe a foundation there, but it was built on untruth. It was built on a lot of bullshit, right? And a lot of things kind of blur in the reality of the relationship. So when the Tower falls, you have the Four of Pentacles, and you have what's real that's left over. So you and another Taurus, you know, kind of maybe feeling the same way. We're not letting go of each other, but we really need to get back to basics here before we move forward. So something could be happening that is, and for you, I feel like you're just letting go of control right now and letting things play out its course. Gemini, I see timing's an issue here. You know, it just seems like if you're not willing to have patience with them or go with the flow, then it can be very aggravating for you. It's like, it seems like they just are wanting to take things at their own pace, and maybe even trying to avoid something that needs to change, right? And this is where it could be you're losing patience with a Gemini. You know, you're wanting more consistency. You're wanting things to unfold organically and not feel like you have to be the one that controls everything. And you want them to show up more consistently. Now, the Temperance card is saying, you know, you could just let this be and things may work itself out, you know. But if this has been ongoing, and you just feel like they're just too chill about things, you know, this could also be where sometimes you're pulling your energy away to say, well, deal with it on your own. You're losing this, you know, what you got here. And then that could be where they finally have a reality check about the situation, or you do, and you just decide, I'm not going to wait, and the divine time, and if we're meant to be together, we will. Cancer, I see judgment. So making a big decision this week, whether or not you guys can move in a new direction. All right. So this can be good for both of you, or this can be not what you want, but what you know is right. All right. So there could be a second chance coming in, or a realization that we're not getting anywhere here. Leo, Seven of Pentacles, right? So Leo, very invested in this connection. It does seem like there could be a constant block that you're up against. You keep hitting a wall. And this is where sometimes this wall is only going to get broken if you let what needs to happen happen. All right, face the reality. If something is not stable, or feels like you guys can't make plans for the future, or nothing's moving forward, sometimes you just gotta, say fuck it, fix it yourself, do it yourself, and kind of, just give it a break and walk away. Looks like your Leo here doesn't want to lose this connection, right? So, we can't avoid a truth. We can try to every single day, but eventually it'll hit. The tower will come in. So there could be some major revelation about direction, and you and a Leo could be actually making better plans for the future, according to this reading. Virgo, the devil card, a lot of bondage here, a lot of patterns, a lot of repeats, a lot of, maybe addiction, or maybe like things that that just need to change, but we keep avoiding it, right? And so this could be an eye-opener this week too. There could be breaking the chains, breaking the pattern, breaking the attachment to your Virgo. And when they realize, because they're also attached to you, keep that in mind. They're attached to whatever you bring to them. But when you cut those ties, they have to face reality. And if they don't want to lose you, guess what? They will have to face their reality. And that's when they can, decide whether or not they're going to change. Libra, Nine of Cups. Libra is all about you. It seems like they desire this connection, but it's also based on desire and fantasy too. So be aware of that. You're looking for more stability this week. There could be a promise, there could be something good happening here with you and a Libra, where the desire really is to make something work. But if it's just based on fantasy or desire, this could be where reality is shifting, and you're realizing that, you can have all the desire in the world and comforts of the attention, but if there's no stability or consistency, sometimes it's just not enough, Scorpio, Queen of Cups. Scorpio's got love for you. This relationship could be really deepening on an emotional level. There may be a powerful awakening here happening with your Scorpio, where they're starting to do a little soul searching, understanding their emotions a lot more. Maybe they're feeling a little bit more emotional safety with this connection. They may open up this week emotionally with you. Seems like you could really, there's opposites happening here. And this is the best sides of both of you that could really be coming together. Sagittarius, Wheel of Fortune. So you have an opportunity here for a do-over, turn things around. But there is a pattern here, and we have to learn our lessons. And sometimes, the pattern comes back around. We get comfortable with them being back in our life, but nothing changes because we don't face the facts about the situation, and we try to ignore it. So there could be a turnaround here, but also just a pattern repeating itself with the Sagittarius. Capricorn, Nine of Wands. Capricorn could be just feeling at wit's end right now. It doesn't look like they want to give up on the situation, but they need to face what's going on in their life. And it seems like the way they've been going about things hasn't been really working for them, and they've exhausted every avenue. All right, so it looks like they may finally see that they were making things harder than it had to be, or they're just exhausted by the way things have been going between the two of you. So it looks like, though, a little bit of time apart is going to bring clarity between the two of you. I don't see you guys giving up. Aquarius, the Hierophant, very strong loyalty between you and Aquarius, but you guys have learning lessons, right? And we can't fix each other, but your values are what's going to bring you guys closer. Pisces, Seven of Swords, not being transparent with you, all right? Maybe denying reality, maybe not always being honest with you. Maybe you're realizing this week that you can't deal with the lack of honesty with a Pisces. Maybe they feel like you're not being honest with them. It doesn't matter how it goes, but there is something that's not always being said, and there is maybe some trust issues here. All right, so the Tower card can be facing truths this week with a Pisces, and finally realizing that we have to be honest and we have to face the brutal honesty. And so that could be hard for you this week if you're realizing some truth about a Pisces. But once something comes clear, you know which direction you can move in. All right, if you're still with me, I'm going to pull a yes, no for you. All right, look at that, the 9 of Wands, right? You got a yes. But I am seeing here, you know, an ongoing battle, wearing you out, fatiguing you. And it could be all internal, mental, you know, physical, just tired. And it feels like a lot of it, you've been like the most consistent in this, right? But you may be connecting, like I said, with people that just, you know, don't want to face their realities, don't want to face truth. And you may have carried a lot of, you know, guilt about this, right? But you've been the backbone for everybody. And it feels like, you know, you've done it too many times. And this could be a week where you're really seeing everything for what it is. And you're starting to put yourself first. And this is where you may realize that by doing that actually strengthens your relationships. You don't have to prove your value anymore. You just have to be it and live it. Right. So that is really important for my Tauruses this week. Right. You're more valued than you may realize. I love you guys. And I will see you soon. Take care.